Welcome to Quantum Coffee.
Here we are.
It's so good.
Here we are.
We're so good. I love us.
She loves us.
I do. I love us. I love us.
I think we're chaotic, but I still love us.
Right. That's the charm of us. At
Yes.
least, yeah. All right.
We're gonna go with that. Anyways, welcome to our show for today. I can't read this because I'm blind. So we're gonna talk about when success starts to feel like a cage.
Yeah.
This is a big topic.
Yeah.
Okay. So
When success starts to feel like a cage. So both of us have stories
we have stories
from
story time.
how we experience this in our lives and the different avenues of success, actually. And if you guys know me, if there's anyone here that is familiar with me, with my work of being a person,
Being a person, being a human.
my human work.
Yes. I'm hogging this whole thing. Like, scooch over. Here, like, move your chair. Just don't flash everybody.
I mean,
Then we'll end up on OnlyFans and not YouTube. Anyway, no, we're not.
Okay.
We're just kidding.
okay. We're gonna get distracted a little.
I know.
So, my journey of trying to be a successful human has been in the realm of relationships, and not just romantic relationships. Yes, and it has come with an attachment to outward success, meaning finances and career and job and all of that stuff. And so, coming from the energy perspective, before I even get into my story, all of that stuff lies within the sacral chakra. So your gut chakra is where money and sex live. And so you can't separate those two. They are similar energies. It's why, the world, let's say, the matrix, uses sex to sell you products.
Right.
Because sex and money are the same energy.
They're linked in your brain.
They're linked in your brain. So when you talk about relationships, of course, you're adding in the heart chakra and the third eye. But for people like me who have confused sex with love for a really long time, those signals get crossed.
Okay.
They get mixed up. And so my early years of trying to be successful really fell in the realm of that white picket fence. Right?
Okay.
Success was being the mom, having a job, having a career, having the relationship that looked really good on paper, having the car that everybody, could recognize, having the house where everybody could come to. And I was one of those, like, are you guys having fun? Do you need more? You want more steak? You want, because we were CrossFit people. Also, you want more whatever, let me clean up after you. It was definitely the host that was like, are you done? You want a refill? Are you done? You want a refill? And I would clean up your shit with a full cup,
Right.
And it was what I thought success was in those early stages of my life, keeping up with the Joneses. It was more about presentation of family and wealth than success within your soul and happiness.
So a lot of external validation versus internal validation.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So once you built this, visually perfect life, the house, the kids, the job, all the things, right?
Yeah.
The husband. How did you feel? Did you feel like, yes, I finally did it? Or were you like,
No, there was never, I can't wait to tell this. Okay, there was never a moment in that timeline, we'll say, where I felt success, where I felt, yes, I finally did it, where I felt like I felt accomplished.
Okay.
And in that timeline, the reality was I had a beautiful home. I had cars. I had designer bags. This is actually a Tiffany necklace from that time that I cut up and put my multiply on. I had all of the things that you want.
Okay.
But there was never a moment where I internally, externally, or even just had a glimpse of, wow, I did it. And I had, in that time, I did 2 master's degrees. I was climbing the ladder in education and retired from administration in education. but never felt
So
satisfied.
each time that you, let's just say, accomplish one of these milestones, right?
Yeah.
So you got the house, so you got the husband, you got the job, right? Like we're going to count each of those as a milestone.
Yeah.
Each time you hit one of those, was it like, okay, now I need to go for the next thing? Was it that feeling of like, okay, it's still not good enough. It's not what I need it to be. I need more, where there was never, like, you're never fully going to be satisfied?
Yeah. So for me, just who I am as a person, those were not conscious thoughts.
Okay.
It was more of an empty feeling I had inside.
Okay.
So it was, I just kept chasing with unconscious chase, where I just kept going and
Waiting to feel
something. Exactly. And it's so interesting. I look back at pictures of myself during that decade and a half, and there's nothing behind my eyes. Like, you can see, it's just like I look scared. There's like no soul. Like, there's just nothing there.
Okay.
So for me, it was very energetic. It was not a conscious thought. I was like looking to feel, like you said, something.
Right.
And almost like chasing the dream was my form of drug or numbing out or looking for the external. But again, there was no conscious actual conversation going on. It was all in my body and everything that I felt, just feeling empty.
So when was the moment when you realized, like, okay, I need to stop and I can't continue to chase with external validation to be successful? Like, I feel like I'm trapped. I need to get out.
Okay, that's a very heavy question.
It is a heavy question.
And so, trigger warning, or, maybe pause, don't listen. But for me, I remember that moment vividly. And it was literally a 30-second moment. So I had an experience where I was at rock bottom. And this was after I had already started to leave that world.
Okay.
I had been 2 years, maybe 3 years after my divorce. I had just told education I was leaving. So it was in the midst of me recognizing that I wasn't feeling it, and in the midst of me dismantling. But I still at that time didn't know what direction to go in. Then it was external and internal and all of those things that I know now. I just knew I had to exit. And so I just kept exiting until I truly tried to exit. Okay. If you know what I mean. Yes. And here's the trigger, right? So my parents had picked me up from the hospital. It was one of those, like, I was there for maybe 48 hours kind of thing. And I was in my 40s. I think it was either 42 or 43. But, that's where this story was about to end. And they were driving me, and I was in and out of lucidity. And I remember driving past a funeral home. Okay. And I remember looking at that funeral home and realizing that if my kids had to have seen me there, that everything that I was feeling energetically and emotionally, and the emptiness and the darkness that I was feeling, wouldn't actually die with my body. It would jump out of my body and it would attach itself into my kids. It would transfer into my kids, and their world would be completely different than it is now. Correct. And so that was that 30 seconds. It was that conversation with God. It was that moment of just seeing that funeral home that I literally was like, what the fuck? It was like it woke me up. Right. And I realized there's no way. Like, how selfish of me. What the fuck is happening? Like, I can't do that to them. Right. And so because of that moment, that was really when I started like, okay, I got to look at me. I got to see what's going on. Right. I have to find who I am again, because I'm chasing this bullshit. And it's leaving me feeling so dark and empty and chaotic. And I just keep trying to place it on the outside in these different relationships and this different, chase for the dream. And nothing was working. And that's really when I started to do the work internally and look at myself. And that was maybe it was 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago.
Okay.
And it's been, I feel like a different person since I started doing this work. Like the person that I was before the age of 42 or 43, I can't remember her.
Right.
I look at pictures and I'm like, oh my God, really? I was with
You
those
knocked her
people?
away.
Yeah.
She doesn't exist anymore.
I don't know her. I don't feel her. I don't remember that.
Right.
Like I have no connection
Okay.
to that emptiness. And it's amazing. It feels great. And I don't have success in the traditional way. I don't have what other people would look at just without talking to me and be like, oh, I'm envious, I'm jealous. But what I do have is when people talk to me,
Right.
they're like, show me how you did this. Show me how you got there. Why is your heart on fire in a good way?
Yep.
And so that's what I wish for everybody. That's, where I think everyone can go and get to, and it doesn't matter what we're driving around in.
True.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that.
Yes, you're welcome. You bring it up.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so switch.
So I love that you kind of highlighted what I wanted to talk about. So when we talk about success putting us in a cage, first we have to look at how we define success.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And each one of us defines it completely different. So for, pre-Stephanie, right? Stephanie 1.0. That was the house, the job, the things, right? The external validation. Somewhere in your younger life journey, that is how you were like, okay, if I do these things, that means that I am an accomplished adult, right?
Right.
And that may have come from, you watching something on TV, you seeing other families, your own family. It could have been a million things or a combination of, right?
Yeah.
We have no idea what we're doing when we're kids, and we really don't when we're adults. But we define our success with these just kind of levels. And we all do it to a certain extent, right? Like we start out with a crappy car, our first car, and like, okay, if I drive this, that means I made it. If I live in a house in this suburb with a pool, I made it. If I live at the beach, whatever it may be, right? But then what we start to find, we can have these levels of success, and where I see it in a corporate sense is people have those ideas, right? Like, okay, I need to work my way up to this position. I need to have the perfect spouse. I need to have the perfect neighborhood. My kids have to be in club sports and, all of these things. And they're working so hard to accomplish these areas.
Right.
And then they get there and they just feel empty. Just like you were describing, right? They're miserable. They're, cheating on their spouse. They're not at home with their kids. They're at the bar. They have a drug addiction, a gambling addiction, whatever the case may be. But from the outside, it looks like their life is perfect, right? And we see them on social media because everybody gives us the highlight reel of their life. They only give us the pretty parts. We don't see the ugly. And so why are they not fulfilled at that point? They're putting everything into one area of their life and not saving anything for the other things that are important as well. You wanted the family, but you're not pouring into that family, right?
So I want to share a story with you that I think answers that question. And I don't know if I've shared this story with you before, but why aren't people why are they scared is what I hear you, right? Why are they scared to find real fulfillment? Why are they following the herd, essentially, and playing the game and living in the matrix? And so when I was in college, one of my first years, undergrad, I was in a psychology class, and it was the first day. And it was the icebreaker activity or whatever,
How do you define success?
What makes you happy?
Oh, okay.
I will never forget that question. I will never forget the scene. I will never forget what happened. So he was and this was like 1996, we'll say. Because I
somewhere in the 90s.
So what makes you happy? That was the sentence. And I was sitting, I remember, so if I'm the professor, I was sitting in the back right corner.
Okay.
And this was at Nassau Community College, for those of you that wanted to know. And he goes around the room, and it's, you know, cars, money, girls, guys, whatever. You know, maybe there's a specific, like a Lamborghini or this.
Right.
It's all material things. And he's,
Okay.
and the whole time, here I am with my dyed, you know, grunge black hair with the bright pink on the bottom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
I
great.
think we,
You know, it's funny.
we need some of those pictures. Anyways.
I don't,
continue.
you know, Phil, it wasn't this. Anyway.
We can have it. Look at this.
Right.
Okay.
So I literally the last one, and I remember just like judging everybody, like, seriously, like that doesn't make you happy. Like at that time I knew, but then fear came in. So anyway, so he gets to me, and I'm the last one, and he goes, what makes you happy? And I remember with all full-blown attitude, I look and I go, liking yourself. And the whole class got quiet. And the professor just stared at me. And he was the first one to start laughing. And as soon as he started laughing, the entire class started laughing. And I was like, is this real? Like, how can there be any other answer than that? That's
Correct.
all you need is if you like yourself, you're fucking happy. Doesn't matter what you do. And in that moment, it was like,
Your brain shifted.
my brain shifted. Because I did not, if I was going to make it through this society and walk through this life, I had to somehow fit in.
Right.
And if I had this truth that I knew, and I still know divinely, that's really all you need.
Right.
But I wasn't strong enough in that moment at 20 years old
To stand your ground on
to
that one.
stand
Okay.
my ground on that.
Okay.
But
That's pretty impactful.
I think that's the answer. I think people don't. Why can't they do it? Because in order to like yourself, you have to admit you don't.
Right.
And that's really fucking scary.
Yes.
No matter how big your ego is, you have to, on some level, recognize if I'm not happy right now,
It's a me thing.
it's a me thing.
Right.
And it means I'm ashamed, I'm insecure, whatever. It doesn't matter where it comes from. There is some level of you don't like who you are.
Which typically manifests in what you project onto others.
Right.
So whatever it is that you are not liking, you push to other people so that you don't have to truly admit it's you. Like
Right.
that's how you're feeling in your soul. So like with bullies and whatnot, what do they pick on people for? The things that they're insecure about, right? But it's really hard to explain that to a child because their feelings are hurt and they don't have enough capacity to understand that it's really not that bully saying whatever. It's not about you.
Right. They
You
don't.
know,
Right.
and like you can say all the right things to a kid. It's the same thing with, I mean, adults still do it, obviously.
Right.
But that's what they're struggling with. And until they acknowledge it and like actually like put in the work to correct that insecurity or just accept it. Like some of them, like you can't change, and that's okay. Just accept it, right? Like this is who I am.
Right. Exactly.
And it's okay.
And it is
I'm
okay.
still gonna love me. Like I'm a little quirky, right?
Right.
And that's all right because someone that loves me is gonna. That was just
Unnecessary. I'm so sorry.
She's good. But they have to accept all of the pieces of you, not just like the pretty shiny pieces that they want to.
Right.
Right.
Well,
no, I'm talking with my hands.
Right. I can't so much.
Sorry, I had to bring it up. Honey, we're gonna just like digress for a
That's the mirror.
So while she was driving yesterday in the car talking to me on the phone, she's like, "My hands are moving like you."
Yes,
just
they were
because
just
she was
doing,
talking.
just because I was talking to her, because I have a very strong mirror neurons, so they were just doing the Nicole.
She couldn't even see me.
Oh my God. Okay, anyway. So going
Back to
back to what you said about kids and them not really being able to understand that it's not about them, I'm going to shift it into, again, what I do, my energy perspective.
Right.
Before their brain is fully developed, before they have all these communication skills and, you know, the ability to put the pieces together, and now my hands are doing it.
Right here. Look at me holding my leg.
All they're doing is receiving energetic impressions.
Right.
So every time a child is in an experience, they're receiving all of that information energetically. And it's like that's why they call it the foundation, because it's like the building blocks to their life. But it is just little energetic bricks.
Okay.
And we don't have the ability to cognitively reason it out and look at it with logic. Not until when I look at somebody in energy, not psychology, you don't fully get the ability to reason it out until you're 23.
Okay.
Energetically, you're still building those blocks. And then 28 is when the first time you really can dissect those thoughts.
Okay.
It's the first time. So anyway, and that's a whole nother conversation. Maybe we'll make that episode 1700. But episode 1700. So when people talk about, like, you know, being responsible for yourself, and yes, you couldn't do that as a kid, all of that is true. But when you shift it into an energy perspective and like you look at your environment, it's not about accusations.
Right.
But it is looking at it as, okay, so I am a product just simply energetically of every situation I was placed into. And what shadow work does is it goes into those little programs, those little energetic programs, and it cleans the hard drive, essentially.
Okay.
And it says, look, it's fine that happened, but now we're going to clean it out because you're still operating unconsciously from that little energetic program.
Okay.
And it is so beautiful and so cleansing and so important when you can do that and you start to really look at yourself. So I just wanted to bring that up because you talked about children.
Right.
And it is the best thing, in my opinion, that you can do for your children. One, yes, talk to them like adults. Give them the conversation, because even if they can't articulate it back to you, it's still overriding another energetic imprint. So you can always balance out the energies by how you behave in that situation.
Okay.
Yep, that's all I got.
That's what she got. She lost the train of thought. You just got derailed right there. You just saw it.
And we're done.
Cut. Just kidding. Just kidding. I'm gonna cut right there. Okay, so we talked about how, like, your moment, right? Like your moment that you realize, like, hey, I'm trapped in a cage. We talked about how, like, your moment that you feel put you on the train to get into the cage, essentially, right?
Yeah.
In college.
Right.
So,
right. And then the fucking exits.
And then the exit. But, you know, when we look at it, it's not just a you thing. Like, you know, I'm not going to repeat my story because it mirrors hers, sort of.
Well,
right?
I want to hear a little bit about it.
With different details. And that's what a lot of people are throughout their life. And we get to, we'll just, like, loosely say our 40-ish era. It's fine, give or take. So we're in our 40-ish year, and all of a sudden we take a look at everything, and we're like, well, shit, this isn't how I thought it would feel. Like, something's not quite right? And that's the moment that we start to really sit down, look at ourselves as a human, everything we've been through, everything we've built, lost, whatever the case may be, and say, okay, this isn't working for me. I'm exhausted, right? And start to understand ourselves on a different level of, like, okay, what will make me happy?
Yeah.
How do I like me again, right? And we go back to your 20-year-old self sitting in class, and we go, okay, you know, it isn't the job that makes me happy. My job is miserable. It's toxic. I don't like going in. I'm exhausted when I come home. I'm not fulfilled, right? You know, I have this massive house and it doesn't bring me joy. I have this car and it does not, like, it is what it is. Like, take it or leave it, right? So then we start to break those things down, and that's where we start to see people just completely do what looks like a midlife crisis. It's not. It's you reassessing everything you've done.
Yeah.
And, like, okay, how do I backtrack, right? And, like, find my soul again, right?
Right.
So that's when people are all of a sudden doing these crazy career shifts. They're quitting their job that they've had for however long, and just going rogue. Like, all right, you know what? I was an accountant for 20 years, and now I'm going to be a photographer, and I'm going to surf. Wait, what?
Right.
But they're happy. They're so happy. Or, you know what? I'm going to sell my house. I'm going to sell my car. I'm going to downsize. I'm going to go live in an apartment that I can absolutely afford. And I don't care if I'm here or there because I'm going to spend my time traveling because that's what makes me happy. Right? You know, if it was the marriage, the relationship that they were in where, you know, both people just all of a sudden became roommates, like, let's move on and both be happy. Go figure out what that is. I'm not telling people to get divorced at all.
Well, I mean, but that's a really good, you know, point. I had a client this morning and she's like, I can feel it. I'm right there. I know I feel what I want to do. I don't know what I want to do, but I feel what I want to do. And she's stepping out of this extremely tied in connection in Manhattan. And she is just like, I don't know where I'm going from here. And I'm terrified.
Right.
But she keeps feeling the pull and she keeps feeling the draw. And I'm like, you just one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. And
You'll figure it out.
You will figure it out. And I think it's really scary for people because not only do they really not know anymore who they are, which is what I was going to tie it back into, is I always wanted to be a writer. And that one moment that I felt, oh my God, I've made it or I'm a success was when I did get the first publishing, not the self-published book, but the one with the publisher. That was the only moment, because it's true to my soul.
It wasn't about money either.
It wasn't about money. Absolutely not. It was just about being me.
Right.
And it was like, oh my God, I did it. Right. And I had that fulfillment. And I still have it. It's everlasting. It's evergreen. So the
pause.
Yeah.
Now, I want to ask, I'm glad you brought that up. So now, Stephanie that was in the big house with the job and the husband and the things, right? Yeah. Had that Stephanie wrote the book and got it published, would she have felt the same sense of accomplishment, or would money have been tied to that to make you feel fulfilled?
That Stephanie couldn't have gotten the book.
Okay.
Could not have gotten a deal. Could not get to the place of not just the emotion, the drive, the motivation, the dream that actually propelled me forward to move into writing the book, to take the risk and go, I'm just going to call the publisher and say, hey, you want to publish me? I wouldn't have had that courage. Okay. But not only that, I wouldn't have had the content, because it's all about shifting and transforming and making and being you with no apologies and being fulfilled. So it's a great question, but for me specifically, there is absolutely no possible way
it could have happened.
It could have happened. Just like Esther Hicks says, you can't get there from here.
Right.
I had to jump off the fucking cliff. I had to take the risk. I had to break through all the fear because I could not get here from there.
Okay.
Was never going to happen.
So you knew a long time ago that you wanted to write a book. But you had to get to a certain point to where your soul would essentially allow you to do that.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you made it through. Sorry, kind of awkward. I deflect with humor.
No, it was, I mean, it was a journey. It was necessary. All the parts, everything that I have been through has been essential.
Okay.
You know, I have made some major mistakes, and I have left some dead bodies in my wake.
Not real dead bodies.
Not real, but whatever.
Hypothetical.
Yes. You know, I've not always been kind, we'll say. I've not always been kind. But I cannot take any of it back. And I don't regret any of it. There's only one thing in my life that I regret, but even that one thing that I regret in my life
had to happen for you to be you.
It had to happen, because if that piece didn't happen, I can see the trail that I would not have walked down that led me to all the other pieces that I needed to get to. So I couldn't, you know, in what we'll get into later in later podcasts is the pivot. I didn't know I was pivoting. Those pivots were essential. They were important. They were needed. And I just kept pivoting.
Right.
And I'm so grateful for all of those scary moments because I do feel fulfilled and you know, well, sure, my fucking car doesn't work right now. But
Don't even ask her what car right now. Car's fine. Car's great. Sorry.
Anybody want to give me a car? But I don't, it's not like one of those, you know, I hear people talking and I remember the days where going through this experience with my car right now would have been like, oh, everything's so bad. My car doesn't work and the sky is falling and fucking, you know, just like a laundry list of bullshit. And now I'm just like, wow,
this car sucks.
I don't even get to you tomorrow because that thing doesn't work. You know, and it's still with an air of joy. Like it just doesn't, it's almost like all of these inconveniences in life are just that. They're just inconveniences. And it makes me laugh now as opposed to like, oh my God, the whole sky is falling apart.
Right. So instead of us having to cancel our recording, you were like, okay, well, here's what's going to happen. I'm either going to drive this car or I'm going to Uber to you.
Right.
And we made it happen.
We just figured it out, yeah.
You're still annoyed about the car.
Oh, yeah.
But
That thing's a piece of
doesn't
shit.
like... I'm sorry, I triggered you on the car. We're not going to talk about it. Anyways, it didn't stop all of your progress, is what you're saying.
No, not even. Right. That's
You're able to just like, well, that sucks, and kind of go with the flow.
And now I see these pivots, like that's a pivot. It's a minor pivot. Again, we're going to get into like the whole pivot thing later. Because that's
How many times can she say pivot?
I'm suiting right now.
Oh my God.
You don't know what that means yet. Okay.
She got ahead of herself.
I did.
Okay.
I get really excited.
Clearly.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah, right. So it's just these minor pivots in life daily, minute by minute. You're like, well, that's a closed door. We're going to go over here now, you know?
Jump over the window.
We're going to jump over
the window. And
I just followed suit. I was like, and we're going over the window.
Shit.
Okay, so when, thank you. I can't with the legs and the knees and all the things. And
You have too much leg.
Can I just do this? Okay, so now, Nicole. All right, just kidding.
Oh shit. Okay.
What is the most significant? First of all, I love talking to her. I love talking about this. I can talk about it all day long. What for you? What was your moment? What was your aha moment where you were like, I need to shift a little, and your skin started to shed?
Ooh, I would probably say there was two. There was two pretty significant moments in my life that I kind of pulled the rug out from, the whole world of like, oh shit, is she going crazy? Like, what's happening here? So I'm
Nice pause.
Yeah.
When you did pull the rug out, I visualized you standing on the rug trying to pull it. Okay,
I'm like the magician, like at the tablecloth. I'm like, just kidding. So the first one would probably be 2014.
Okay.
Specifically. So at that point, that is when I chose to move across the country with absolutely no plan, which sounds insane, and it was. So up to that point, I was just kind of going through the motions. It was just like train wreck after train wreck after train wreck in my personal life and work life, and I just saw myself on this like continuous loop. Where I wasn't happy and I was repeating a lot of generational curse patterns, I guess. We'll just call it that.
Yeah.
We'll blanket statement that.
Okay. Okay, pause.
Yeah.
Generational curses. When you come in, energetic imprints. So it is real because now you're taking all of your ancestors and you're getting those energetic imprints, and you get them when you're in the womb and you get them 0 to whatever.
Yes.
So it's the thing.
So we will say that I was stuck in this like crazy loop, right? And I didn't want to be stuck in that loop. And on top of that as well, where I was geographically, and the people that I was surrounded with. I never felt like I was a part of that. I didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Right? Like something was always off. And I couldn't put my finger on it. I couldn't explain it to people. I just didn't feel like that's where I should be.
Yeah.
And a lot of things occurred in my personal life, and I'm not going to get into that. But a lot of things occurred in my life, and I was like, okay, we're stopping the train, right? And so I literally just sold everything, quit my job, and decided to move across the country 2,000 miles away with no plan whatsoever and 2 little kids, which is absolutely terrifying. And with just like a hope and a prayer that, you know what, like the universe is going to do me a solid and help me out. And it did, right? Like I got to Arizona and started, you know, meeting people and doing things and starting businesses and doing this stuff. And, you know, my life restarted. It was like I got another chance. And so, you know, went down that path for a while. And, you know, after that, like moved all over the country, did a bunch of different things, got into corporate, and accomplished a whole lot of degrees in that process. And I was working for these big companies and doing corporate level HR. And I'm going. And I had the job, I had the house, I had the money, I had all of it. And I was like, I don't have a soul.
Right.
I don't have a soul. And the moment that like realization, like I felt it, but I didn't realize how apparent it was to everyone else.
Yeah.
Until my kids said something, and they were like, "You are miserable. You're not happy anymore. You don't smile. You're just like, you go to work, you come home, and you're just pissed."
Yeah.
And I was like, And that was the moment that I was like, is the money worth it? Is all of this worth it? Because my children can see the just like on my face. And so that was the moment again that I'm like, okay. And I had to go in on myself, go all in on myself.
Yeah.
And that was all right, I am going to start a business and we're just going to see if this works.
Right.
You know,
jump off that cliff. It's
like,
worth staring.
I know the things, I'm doing the things for these other companies. Like, there's zero reason why I can't do this for myself on my terms, right? I can still help people, but now I have joy behind it, right?
Yeah.
Because I choose the companies, I choose the people that I want to work with, I choose my boundaries.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a CEO choosing those for me, right? If a company comes to me and they're like, hey, we want to do this, this, and this, and I'm like, that is extra sketchy and illegal, and I'm not touching that. Like, I don't have to, right? Like, if it is too chaotic and I'm like, oh, that's a mess, and I'm not going to go sit in a courtroom on your behalf because I don't agree with what you're doing, I don't have to do that. You know, now I have the ability to go to these networking events and meet really cool people, and then pitch all my crazy ass ideas, and then somebody's like, yeah, absolutely, let's do this. We were discussing right before we started recording, like, what's your superpower? And she said, I'm a bridge.
Yeah.
I am the bridge that makes, you know, everybody's ideas like come to life.
I just realized she's spinning my face. Because what my superpower is jumping off the cliff. And so when you said that, I'm like, why? Because I'm so fucking visual. So when you said that, I was like, come on, everybody, we're jumping off the cliff.
But then she lands on the bridge.
Landed on the bridge. Exactly.
I got you. I follow you now. Okay. Wow.
Damn. Anyway.
So now I get to do this.
Yeah.
Which I didn't get to do that before. There was all of my energy was depleted by the time I got home, and there was nothing left. So I'd be like, I'm just gonna melt into my couch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now I don't. I mean, I can melt into my couch if I want to, but I don't have to. Like, I don't feel like that's my only option. So,
Right.
You know, those were my two like big, oh shit, like something has to change moments where what I had built as the measure of success in my mind was completely inaccurate.
Yeah. So, do you have a soul now?
I do have a soul. My soul's pretty awesome, actually. I'm having a great time. I really, truly enjoy my life.
Having a soul.
Yeah, I do. I feel like I'm a real boy.
Right. It does feel like that.
Yeah.
Though. It feels like all of a sudden there's substance to your life.
Yes.
Like there's purpose, right? And it's like, yeah, we all know like life is gonna look good and feel good when you find your purpose. But it's almost like, no, first you find you and then your purpose shows up.
Yes. And you know what? You know what I have discovered in this finding my soul again? There was a lot of pieces of me that I kind of, let's just say, here, visualize this.
Yeah, okay.
And we like put them in little boxes and we just put them on the shelf because I was like, ooh, I'm kind of a lot. I'm a lot for people, right?
Yeah.
And so I hid all these quirky things about myself from the outside world because I felt like I had to be this like picture perfect human, right?
Yeah.
According to whatever their standards are. Well, since then we've unpacked all those boxes, okay? And then, as you can see, I can show up as HR tattooed, and I'm sure somebody's gonna be like, "That's unprofessional." Okay, well, you know what? My ink doesn't soak into my brain.
Right. Exactly.
So there's that. If you're gonna judge me based on that, again, that's a you problem, not a me problem.
Right.
It doesn't change anything about what I do. I can come in and I can be animated and I can find the silver lining in your humongous problem that you have, right? But I can also help you to get to a solution. And it's not that I'm downplaying your problem. It's that I need to calm you down and get you to a level where your brain's going to start working again. Right? Because if you're operating at a like, oh my God, this is just going to blow, you're not thinking clearly. You're not going to come up with solutions at all. The only thing in your head at that moment is, shit, I'm going to fail.
Right.
And you're planning the cleanup plans. No. Like, we need to back you up. It's still a little scary, right? But we need to find how we can solve the problem, how we can salvage this, right? And so that is how I deflect with humor, so to speak, is to just get you to a calm level.
Well, one, I love that. And two, it is not just a deflection. What I heard you say in that whole thing is once upon a time you fragmented yourself to stay small. And part of you fragmenting yourself to stay small is putting your humor, putting your creativity, putting all of that on the shelf. And now, because you have a soul,
Thank goodness we found that thing.
right, you're able to put all of that back, all of those pieces back together. One of the other things you said is the reason why you did it is because you were scared you were going to be too much for people. But once you put yourself back into your body, you became whole. You found other people that were a bit much.
Right.
You gravitate towards a bit much people. We have a dynamic, joyous.
But I didn't think there was any other people that
No,
were
of course not.
too much.
We never think that. We think we're the only two muches out there.
I like your buttchiness.
I like your muchiness. This stuff. I'm not even going to say what just ran through my brain. But now you can go into those spaces where you see everyone else's judgment. Not only does it not affect you, in a way, you can also see where their judgment is coming from in the fact that they don't like themselves.
Right.
And they can't admit that level yet. And you, without saying it to them,
Without getting upset.
without getting upset,
Right.
can
Taking it
bring,
personal.
right, can bring it to that space where you're saying, essentially, gently, let's look at the mirror without, we're playing with my one-on-ones. I'm like, okay, here's mirror, here's you, look at it. You have to do it a little bit more in a finesse way, but you have that ability because you brought all of those pieces. You called your power back, essentially. Here's all my fancy
Here's
new
my
age
fancy
words.
Yes.
But if we were to give them how they accomplished what you and I accomplished, what would you say is the one sentence, the one thought motivator that you could give the people?
What are we giving the people?
What are we giving the people today?
Well, I'm gonna just like totally go off script, but you, oh no, you can, you can do that one. I'm going to kind of paraphrase it and just say that, you know, don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Don't beat yourself up about it. You didn't screw up. You were learning. It was a learning process, right? Take a minute to just breathe and reassess and find your soul again. And understand that, like, if you put all of the pieces of you back together, if you put your puzzle pieces back together,
Yeah.
whoever you are as a whole person absolutely shines.
Yeah.
And people will love you for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is a very freeing moment where you're like, you know what? They do like me.
I'll take my award now.
But she's gonna make it more eloquent.
So I love what she just said and the paraphrasing, but she did actually come with a one-liner.
I can't prepare it.
She came prepared. She came with the script, and what she wrote, I love. So I am going to read it. It says, "Stay curious, stay conscious, and remember, you can outgrow a dream without betraying the version of you who needed it." And I think that's
Just beautiful. And I love everything that we talked about today.
Yes, me too.
And I promise we're not lovers, even though it may have seemed like it.
Even though, like, in every video, there's always, like, these weird moments where she's like, there was a magical connection. It's not like that.
I'm very touchy-feely, and I was in the airport once with this other woman. No, I know. And these two guys were like, "You're a lesbian." I'm like, "I'm not. I just like to touch people. I just like to touch."
Exactly. Okay. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
thanks for hanging out with us.
Peace out, bitches.
And oh, such a good time.
Okay.
Anyways, we'll see you next week. Later.
I just shut down.
And she's off. She's actually a robot. Just kidding.
Ooh.